Okay. Okay. So unfortunately, there's a timer on, so I need to play quickly. But this is an easy one. Um, E4. Okay. So the reason I did that is because I want to develop queen and bishop quickly. I'm feeling stressed and rushed. It's always a good idea to do this. And this is weak. Okay. Um, so there was a timer on the first move, which makes everything very rushed. Um, so yeah, I think that's okay. So I'm getting my eye in. Um, yeah, I want to do that myself. So this is weak, and there's some other ideas actually. If you take this knight, um, which are kind of annoying, um, I actually quite like this. You're hoping for this, and knight here smother. G Rogers, I almost moved into mate in one. Ooh, ooh, ah, didn't quite, didn't quite do it. Okay, didn't quite manage to get the mate in one. That's sad. Okay, um, so he has now a bishop in hand. I could just put a knight here, try and control these squares. That way, I could take this way if I want to. Um, and I think I'll do that. Yeah, G Roger says I've never played this. Should be interesting. Yeah. So I see there Mugwort and Visual Dennis both watching. Yeah, shame about the mate in one. That would have been fun. Um, so what's the idea? I think it was a good idea here. Just it feels like there are the weaknesses are quite annoying around this king. So I'm thinking of taking, and replacing. Look, I want to get a knight. Yeah, but also I want to keep an eye on this diagonal. Takes. Oh, I can also hit with tempo. That's a sort of very simple concept. So I'll do that. Um, also, I could just go bishop, and that's developing my queen. I think that's even nicer because the problem with this is I was worried about this diagonal. So I'm going to go with the bishop. It looks rather smothery, but I think I'm okay still. So the idea is takes, and he'd have to put a bishop here, but then I can put a bishop here. Okay, so this is looking like a sort of a draw off a kind of approach. I've got to be careful. I don't want to leave this square open. Um, so I could just chase him back like so, but that doesn't feel right. Could take, but then he just repeats if he wants to. So how do I improve my position? Um, okay, let's just do this again. See what he thinks. Okay, so he's putting stuff around. Okay, I'm gonna just. The thing is, if I do this, I'm creating a lot of dark square weaknesses. That's why I'm slightly uneasy. Um, And if I do this, then this becomes a possible idea. So what's the problem with this again? Yeah, let's just do this. This takes here. Okay, and I'll take the bishop. So I wanted to go queen here, but the knight is coming in a rather annoying fashion. But I could just back off maybe. And how does he defend with it? He could just defend it with the knight, I guess. Okay, so he takes this, which is sort of annoying, but that's life. But at least I get a bit more freedom and no diagonals. Okay, now if I do any... So knight, rook, just doesn't feel... Okay, I need to develop, but I also need to put my pieces on. Maybe I should castle knight and a rook. So bishop takes pawn is not a threat. Simply castling is an idea. Blocking the file is solid, but it gives him a bishop for e2, but then I can always defend. But still, is a bit weak. So I think I'm going to put a bishop here, because if he does castle, at least then that I've got some ideas. And then also if he castles, I'm going to put another bishop here. Yeah, so okay, so he castled queenside, which, to be honest, surprised me. Now I was thinking bishop here, but this could come, but then this. So, okay. I'm just trying to block the file, and then this next. And try and watch time, because I've only got 3 minutes 35. Okay. Which way am I taking? I was thinking taking this way to give the bishop more air. And maybe even also, then I can castle and open up the rook file. So that's my concept here. Okay. I like this. And repeat. And I was thinking of doing this, but I'm worried about this. Am I ready for action? Don't have that much material. Now what I wanted to do was knight here. I also got queen takes rook if that's ever a good thing. Queen takes rook, but the queen would be coming back at me, I think. There's also just this. Oh, no. Yeah. The sort of interesting. Um, okay, so queen takes rook. Yeah, my back rank's an issue. I need to be a little bit saving. Okay, 2 minutes 41. I just need to keep the tempo. Okay, rook. I don't want my king here. This is. If I castle, it'll just put my rook on this file, but my king is still in danger. So, okay, rook here seems obvious. Yeah, rook here seems obvious. Rook here seems obvious. Rook here seems obvious. And I could push, but this pawn is weak. But the king has place to run to. So knight takes pawn is an idea. What else is an idea? Just simply pushing here, then knight here. Okay, I'm going to do this. If knight here, he does it this way. So bishop takes knight, pawn takes is the idea. Okay, bishop takes knight, bishop takes. But now I can do knight here if I want to. Knight here, bishop here. So that's hanging the queen. So that's clearly a mistake. But he has ideas bishop takes rook and knight here kind of concept. But bishop takes rook, I can just go pawn takes. So I think I'm just going to go actually this one. So I want to go pawn, queen, and so on. King in the box is the idea. Okay, let's. Okay, I'm going to just defend this one. Okay, he's hitting my bishop, which is annoying, and going to do this. So there's a queen here threat. 1 minute, I'm not following my own advice about knight takes rook. Yep. This one. Take that knight out. Just drop here. And here. Rook takes queen, so now I have a moment to get my pieces on. So knight here. And my plan is queen here, step up, bishop here, here, and knight here, mate. So he steps up straight away, that's good. Oh, it's checkmate. Okay. Okay, so same position again. So we really have to watch out for this smother in the corner. So I'm going to go straight for that. And he's going for the counter. So if I take, he takes, I take, he takes, and so on. Okay, I think I get to move first, so I'll do it. Okay. I'll take the rook. He takes the rook, and now I have a choice. Do I take the bishop? I think I take the bishop. So what else could I do if I wanted to? I could put a rook on. No, I think I'll take the bishop. Or I could go bishop here and threaten mate. And he has to. And how do you defend the mate? Ah, that's annoying. Because it looks like he's losing a queen straight up. So who plays first does matter. And it turns out black plays first this position because he wasted time going e4. So this is so cruel. Check. And I'll take this. So slight edge, obviously, for black, but white now has a chance to try and fight back. So just straight up take, okay. So he's winning the bishop back, interesting. I could go with bishop here, if that supported something. But I'm pinned, so I don't think I'm going to do that. I'm just going to go with the pawn. Just going to go with the pawn, and then try and develop. So he's got ideas of, yeah, so try and develop now. So maybe, what's the most important piece to develop in this position? Could be the queen, could be this pawn just to open up the center. I could also be throwing a check just to control some squares. So I'm going to throw in the check actually. And then do this. And the purpose is to try and work away at the dark squares into his position. That's the purpose, and also try not to give knights. Okay, I want to harass that knight, but pawn takes pawn. Yeah, he wants to go knight here, so this is something I need to stop. So how do I stop it? Pawn here is interesting, threatening queen here, mate. That's very interesting. I could just go d5, that's also interesting. Just blowing open the center. I like it. So with an extra queen, that's so takes. So pawn takes pawn. Yeah, so maybe pawn takes pawn here is an idea, but then bishop takes bishop. Okay. Okay, so this comes instead. I want, maybe I got pawn straight away, but then maybe he's running back. I'm going to do that. Bishop here check to stop him running back. That's actually nasty. Was that defended before by something? No, I didn't have a bishop until now, so that's why it's nasty. So queen here check is interesting, but bishop comes here, so that doesn't quite work. I'm going to take this pawn. He takes that pawn. Interesting. So he's got a pawn, a bishop, a rook. So I'm thinking queen here check. He blocks. No, so queen here check. Pawn and a bishop. So this bishop's annoying. I want to take it. I just don't want to get mated. So, and I'm slightly worried about pawn, bishop, and rook if that's mating me. If I just take the bishop's a wonderful piece. If I take it, he's got no. He has to basically go for the rook check next. Rook check takes, and now he's got rook, pawn, and bishop. But the knight might actually be a mating piece. So that's what I'm slightly concerned about. So pawn, rook takes bishop, takes, knight here check. Knight there check. It could be a mating piece with the bishop. So if I slide across, rook here check. Yeah, so if I slide down, rook here check, king here. So hang on. Pawn takes bishop, rook takes pawn, king here. Rook takes knight, king takes knight, pawn there check. Step up, knight here check. I really want to not get mated. Okay, so what I'll do, what do I do? Suppose I just remove the knight and defend with the pawn here. He will still have rook checks. So bishop takes pawn, king takes bishop, and the knight's coming in, unfortunately. Okay, hang on. If I just do knight here, bishop takes pawn. Okay, what about just throwing in this check here? because it's the knight I'm worried about. So if I can deflect the knight, then I'm happy to take here. Okay, so if he sidesteps, takes, he does sidestep, takes, pawn here. If he steps up, he's in a mating. I think he's in a box. So takes, pawn here again, takes. Okay, I'm going to go for this. Okay, so knight, bishop, and rook. Knight, bishop, and rook. And he probably is trying to do this, which I don't want. So I'm going to go with this move. Just to try and get my... I've always got to watch out actually for anything bishop reveal, and it's a rook check, so got to be very careful about that. So I've got a knight and a rook. So rook here check is an idea. You have to think about how you're going to cover the light squares. So covering a square like this. So if he steps back, then I have no knight checks, but I've got a rook check on the back rank. So that seems automatic. Yes. Now, so now pawn takes bishop is possible. Pawn takes bishop is possible. The idea is takes, and claim I'm safe on the back rank. That may be my best bet. But he has lots of pawns and stuff. But yeah, that's the problem. He's got queen there, check, knight block. Okay, maybe it works. And now, what's my continuation plan? Bishop here, knight here, and force him to the back rank and take. That's my mating plan. Bishop here, knight here, pawn here, and once he's on the back rank, it should be very simple. So he will definitely deflect my rook off the back rank to stop that happening. Knight and bishop in hand, got to try and see if I can make something happen. Okay, I fully expect this, and I'll have to take it. I think I mated here, actually, to be honest. It's a very simple mate. So just got too many pieces. I mean, I'm trying, but it's just got too many pieces. So his way of trying to get me would be something like queen here and bishop behind. And that actually works, now I think about it. Oh, so what's the threat? Just queen takes whatever I take. So bishop, but bishop is my bishop is the piece I need. So I'm going to go with knight. So of course queen takes knight, king takes is forced. But hang on, do I not have mate? He's got this. Rook takes bishop. Sorry, bishop here, here, and then you're saying I don't have a follow up. I don't see. I don't have a follow up. My goodness. Or do I? A lot of pawns I seem to have. Rook takes pawn, pawn takes pawn, pawn there. Rook takes pawn, pawn takes pawn. I don't want to give it away if I don't have it. So I just have to do this then. Oof, this is annoying. Takes like so. Okay, so this check, what do I do here? Just back off and try and win the rook. Normally you want to block checks, but I want to get out of the rook takes knight with check. Tricky position, not much time. King takes rook is my threat. He does this, so that allows me to do this. With this idea. Okay, so just let me just calculate. I think I want rook here. Yeah, rook here looks good. And it's checkmate. Wow, yes!